Hello and welcome to round 2 of our Sun and Moon League Cup. On the left hand side we have Juan C. On the right hand side we have Ryan Brown, who was actually featured in our last match during round 1. So we do see Ryan start off with Trubbish, and he is playing that Mega Mewtwo Garbodor deck that was quite popular. Trying to see what he's going to decide here. Juan is playing more of an interesting deck. He is playing Lycanron GX with some evolutions. Actually, quite interesting how it works. Pretty cool idea, if you ask me. So we see a double colors attachment to a Mewtwo EX and a Spirit Link and a Pass. Here we see a town map coming down from Juan. We did see a Umbreon GX and a Jolteon EX or Jolteon Stage 1 with the ability. And Juan's prizes, we also see an energy and a supporter. Here we see a nest ball come down. Gonna get a Rockruff into play and a Shauna. This will allow Juan to shuffle his hand into his deck and draw 5 cards. I believe we saw an energy attachment to that Rockruff. I believe it is a strong energy. So strong energy, when coupled with Lycanron, actually does a ton of damage. Here we see another interesting card that we don't see very often, is that Poison Barb. Gonna go back onto Ryan's turn. Here we see an Ultra Ball. Probably going to search for either a Hoopa, maybe a Garbodor if he's feeling lucky. More than likely, though, we'll be seeing a Hoopa come down as Ryan shuffles through his deck, completing his first search. Back to Poison Barb. It's pretty interesting. When you hit a Pokemon that has Poison Barb attached, your active Pokemon, or the attacking Pokemon, I should say, becomes poisoned. This builds up residual damage every turn. Here we'll just see him fail that Ultra Ball. I don't think he grabbed anything off of it. Mega Mewtwo hitting the field and a Sycamore for 7 cards. So Ryan has a few options in his hands. Hasn't attached yet for the turn. He has an energy in his hand that he could attach. We see another Shatter Shot Mewtwo hit the field, and he's trying to decide where to put this energy. So he is going to attach to his Mega Mewtwo. So Psychic Infinity is going to be dealing 30 more damage every turn. So here we see a Mega Turbo. Currently, Mega Mewtwo is now doing 130 damage on its own, and a second Mega Evolve to end the turn. Here we see an energy coming down to Rockruff. He now has one strong energy and one fighting energy attached to it, and an N, which will allow both opponents to shuffle in their hands and draw 6 cards in this. Another interesting tech is that stadium that you see in play right now, Rough Seas. Juan does play Jolteon, which allows Lycanroc and Umbreon to be half lightning type, half fighting, or half dark, and they have access to the Rough Seas, which is pretty cool. Here we see another Energy Evolution Eevee come down and evolve to Umbreon GX. And Juan's already attached for the turn, so he's not going to be able to attack this turn with an Umbreon. We see evolve into Lycanroc GX and a Pass. So Lycanroc is a pretty interesting Pokemon. He does 30 damage for 2 energy, 1 fighting, 1 colorless, with Crunch, and discards energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. It also has a Solrock, which does 120 damage straight, but when you couple that with strong energies, you're hitting for 140 or 160, which is pretty strong. You then still have the GX attack, which does 200 damage, and again, coupled with that strong energies, you're hitting 220, 240 damage, depending on how many strongs are attached. Here we see Ryan finally finds a Float Stone for his Trubbish. A third Mega Mewtwo comes down, and he has a couple of double colors energy in hand that he can attach to his turn, and he can actually start attacking. So let's see what Ryan decides to do. Another interesting... we're going to see a Shaman come down, drawing 2 cards. If Mega Mewtwo comes in and hits the Umbreon, it will be poisoned because of that Poison Barb. Here we'll just see a Sky Return for 30 damage. I want to promote Trubbish. So with the Sky Return, the Poison Barb technically doesn't activate because Shaman returns back to Ryan's hand. Here we see another fight, a strong energy come down to Lycanron. I believe it now has 3 energy, 2 of which are strong energies. And we see a Lily, letting Juan draw until he has 6 cards in his hand. So Juan has an interesting choice. We do see him play at least one copy of Fighting Fury Belt. I'm not too sure which Pokemon that could go on since all his Pokemon are stage 1 attackers. But he does play a Press Letter, getting a Dark Energy and a Fighting Energy into his hand. Can't attach that this turn yet because he already attached for the turn. Yeah, I gotta take that back. Okay, good. So no misplays yet. Here we'll see an Ultra Ball. Gonna discard another Ultra Ball and a Fighting Energy. Juan does have access to Shaman or more. Here comes another Lycanron GX. Just setting up his field for the end game here. We'll see that Rockruff evolve into Lycanron GX. A Repel coming down. Gonna force Trubbish to switch out. It's basically half an escape rope. So we'll see Ryan's decision here. Gonna promote that Mewtwo without a Spirit Link, or which gives him the option to either attach a Floatstone or maybe double colors to retreat, or he can start attacking with that Mewtwo. On to Ryan's turn. Gonna check his discard pile, see what resources he still has available. We'll see an Ultra Ball. Gonna discard a Shaman and a Spirit Link. Not too sure what he can find here. Maybe that Wobbuffet that we saw round 1. Hoopa might be prized. Oh, we just see a second Shaman. So he thinned out his hand by discarding a Shaman so he can Shaman, use setup for even a couple more cards. So we'll see, and counting the math here, right now Psychic Infinity is doing 130 damage, but Umbreon has resistance to Psychic, so he's doing 110 with the current Mewtwo. Here we do see that second double colorless can come down. He's going to choose to attach it to that Mega Mewtwo. And the Shaman setting up for 3 cards. Not the best cards to draw, a couple energy and a Mewtwo. So Ryan needs to make a choice here. Does he attack with that Mega Mewtwo with a bunch of energy, which will deal a ton of damage but not enough for a knockout? If he does that, that Lycanron can come up and use the GX attack and knock it out. Because of that strong energy, he's going to push him over to 240 damage. Or is he going to take, another road out of here, maybe bring up something? Oh, we'll just see an N come down. Not too happy with this hand, going to shuffle in, draw 6 more cards. So if he attacks with the current Mewtwo, that leaves him open to a potential GX attack from the Lycanron, which will easily knock out that Mewtwo. So we see Juan drawing his cards, Ryan drawing his cards. Let's see what both players can come up with. We'll just see a retreat to Trubbish and a pass onto Juan's turn. Again, we'll see that Fighting Fury built into Juan's hand. Not too sure where that can go currently. We'll see a Trainer's Mail coming down. We see a couple supporters. I believe we saw Professor Kukui and Scorched Earth. Gonna allow Juan to get rid of that Parallel City that's in play. And now Juan will be able to put more Pokemon on his bench if he has them. He does have another Eevee in hand, so that could come down. Here we'll see a Level Ball, I believe. Probably going to grab another Eevee, yeah. So, tons of Eevee in play. We'll just see who's going to take the first attack. Who's going to put damage on the field first? Well, nope, you can't do that. You can't discard a strong energy with Scorched Earth. So we see a Professor Kukui going to draw 2 cards, one of them being the dark energy he needs to attack. And we could see an Umbreon GX strafe this turn. He doesn't have to switch if he doesn't want to, but he can switch the Umbreon back onto the bench. But now we'll just see the strafe for 30 damage, and the Umbreon's going to stay active. I believe that's a Shrine of Memories. Going to replace that Scorched Earth. And a double colorless will be next onto that Mega Mewtwo. And we'll see a Psychic Infinity. 3, 100, minus 20 for 80 damage onto this Umbreon. That Mega Mewtwo should now be poisoned, according to my calculations. But they might have forgotten about that. Okay, we'll see a Rotom Dex. Gonna shuffle in Juan's prizes again. And he'll be able to set 6 new prizes out into the field. So he now will have access to that Jolteon, another Umbreon GX. There was an energy in there that he could have access to. Really interesting card that we don't see played much. So 6 new prizes. A couple of options in his hand. Could evolve into another Umbreon. Going to attach to the active Umbreon and going to use Shadow Bullet, hitting that Mewtwo for 90 and 30 damage onto that Trubbish. Going to actually knock out Trubbish. So we'll see energy attached to Mega Mewtwo. Ryan's pretty set up for the rest of the game. Once he gets rid of this Umbreon GX, Juan's going to have to bring up that Lycanron, yeah. So Ryan's at 4 prizes, Juan's still at 6. We do see Jolteon and Umbreon hit the field. Now Lycanron and Umbreon are both half lightning type. So Lycanron will have the option to one-hit KO Shaymins fairly easily, especially with those strong energy attached to it and it being part lightning now. This will also come in pretty handy if Juan ever goes up against Yveltal. You can start using a Cell Rock to deal a ton of damage to Yveltals or just knock them out in one hit. Or you would knock them out in one hit with the Jolteon in play. Here we see a Crunch. Gonna discard that double colorless off of Mewtwo. Now it's stranded in the active position. I'm still not sure if they're putting damage counters for the poison. But I don't think that'll matter too much in the long run. Ryan's mulling over his options in his hand. He does have a Lysander. We just see an attachment for the turn. Going to check his discard pile to see what resources he has left. And the Lysander is going to bring up that Umbreon GX that's on the bench. Here we'll see a Shatter Shot because of that Shrine of Memories that's in play. We'll see a Dark Energy hitting that Umbreon and a Kukui drawing 2 more cards, Super Rod and Fighting Energy. Okay. So Kukui here actually makes it, I believe, that Strafe will be able to knock out this Mega Mewtwo. Yeah. So you can Strafe, take 2 prizes. So now the prize count is Juan 3 prizes. He's pretty excited about that one. And Ryan 4 prizes. Here we'll see a Mega Turbo onto the active Mega Mewtwo. Brian has a few decisions to make. I think he's just going to get rid of this. Oh, we'll see a Mewtwo come down and then a Sycamore. Going to discard his hand more than... Oh, okay. Ultra Ball first. Going to thin out the deck. Get rid of a few Pokemon that he doesn't need. I don't think that Hoop is going to hit the field anytime soon. Probably just going to get discarded with the Sycamore. So we'll see a Sycamore hit the field, and Ryan will draw 7 new cards. And we'll just see a Psychic Infinity for 1, 2, 3, 80 damage because of resistance. Here we'll see Rough Seas, and because Jolteon's actually in play, you'll be able to use Rough Seas and Delinquent. Okay, he's gonna play the Delinquent first and then the Rough Seas. Ryan is gracious enough to let him do that. We'll see the Rough Seas heal Umbreon because of the Jolteon. That's pretty cool. And we'll see a retreat into Lycanroc. He does have the option to use a Cell Rock this turn for 140, or he could use the GX attack to knock out that Mewtwo. But he opts just to deal the 140 damage. This leaves Ryan the option to take the knockout if he can get enough energy on this Mewtwo, or he could retreat to his bench Mewtwo and use that. So let's see what the decision is. Yeah. So because of that Philosophy, he has free retreat, and now he's able to use Psychic Infinity, which should be enough to knock out that Lycanroc GX. Should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 energy, dealing 280 damage to that Lycanroc. You're going to see a strong energy, the 4th and final strong energy onto that Lycanroc. Another Rockruff hitting the field, going to try to set up a third Lycanroc. But what really can you do? Can you stop this Mewtwo with 6 energy attached to it? Crunch will be able to discard one of those double colorless, but he's still getting hit by way too much damage. We see the Fighting Fury Belt finally getting played onto that Eevee. And a Lycanroc, Dark Energy, Professor Letter, double colorless. Another Repel coming out. Gonna force up that Mewtwo active. And a Crunch actually is gonna knock it out. So Juan's down to 1 prize. But he doesn't have an attacker after this, and yeah. Mewtwo's gonna be able to knock out any of those EXs or GXs in the field. So that was round 2. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.